Former police detective and now convicted murderer Gerald Goines rushed to the hospital as the punishment phase of his trial was near conclusion. Last week on this program, consensus was that the disgraced peace officer responsible for the deaths of Dennis Tuttle and Regina Nicholas would pay a very steep price for orchestrating the badly botched and fatal Harding Street raid. What we did not discuss is what happens next. Will those in authority who failed to first detect and then stop Goines during years of corrupt abuse face any degree of accountability? Panel, we the taxpayers will certainly pay a price in the form of millions of dollars to settle a wrongful death suit, which was, well, I think it has undeniable merit. Marcus, you've spoken on this issue before. Does it end with Goines?
Unfortunately, it probably will. And I say that because of how we feel about police officers in this city, state, and country, giving them a pass undeserved. Meaning, before anybody knew of Goines committing this crime, if they saw him on the street, they would consider him a good cop. Before Derek Chauvin kneeled on the neck, they would have considered him a good cop. The cops who allowed Goines to, I've made the argument on this. We have to reevaluate what's a good cop. And if you've worked with Goines for 10, 20 years and you have not detected that he's dirty, you're not a good cop. If you've detected he's dirty and you did nothing about it, you're not a good cop. And we have to go through the departments and make those assessments.
Holly, you want to speak?
Sure. I'm going to partially agree with Marcus because I do think police need to be held accountable. They're just people. They're just like our teachers, our doctors, and our politicians. They need to be held accountable, and we can't assume they're either all good or all bad. I will disagree because you yourself told me that people in the community knew of Goines' behavior. They knew that he was a problem, and that tells me that probably people in the department also knew. We have a lot of concerns about the culture that has permeated Houston Police Department, and that there's some great people there, fantastic cops. But there's also a problem when we have those 264,000 suspended cases for lack of personnel, and nobody who sounded the alarm on that. We really need to dig into the department and make sure we uphold the proper culture for policing.
Bob, it is extraordinary power. The badge, the gun, the backing of an entire force. I mean, thoughts here?
Well, it is, and to your point, there are people who knew, people not just in the police department, but probably further up in government. One of those is getting a promotion to being the next congressman of the 18th Congressional District of Texas. So, with Sylvester Turner moving up. The issue here is this was covered up for a long time, just like the hiding of these crimes. And that's not just unique to Harris County. We're seeing this in other counties where all of a sudden thousands of cases are discovered that were just put away by a previous administration and not brought forward. So it's a horrible thing. This guy's going to get what he deserves. I'm surprised that he's not getting sentencing by the judge instead of a jury, but
we got to hold it to overtime.
I'm not going to be here for overtime. I already told you that.
Okay, we'll give you still ahead.